Today we're going to take a look at 5 reasons why your chest isn't growing and what to do about it. So if you've been struggling with growing your chest, or maybe feeling your front delts or your triceps taking over on pressing exercises, or you just feel like you have these gaps in your development. Maybe it's your lower chest that's really well developed, but you're lacking up through this top portion, or maybe you have a hard time filling in that middle section. Alright, so reason number 1 is using the wrong arm path. So when you see most people doing presses, you'll typically see them taking a very high elbow angle and a wide arm path like this. There are even exercises that were popularized a long time ago, like the guillotine press, that had you intentionally pulling your elbows wide out here. The reason why this may not be ideal is that when you look at the actual direction of the muscle fibers of the chest and the role they play, this wide arm path up here is a very, very poor choice. Your chest inserts into your arm at around this point in here, and it attaches along your collarbone, along your sternum, and down into this rib cage area here. The main role of the chest is to pull this point towards those other points, or to pull your arm around your body in some way. And the best position to do this for your chest is one that matches up with the direction of the fibers. Take the upper chest, for example. It runs in this kind of direction here from your collarbone down towards the arm. When your arm is at this roughly 45-ish degree position, maybe a little bit higher than that, that very neatly lines up with the direction of those fibers. If I pull my arms out super wide like this, like you see a lot of people doing, the fibers are no longer in good alignment from the insertion here to the one on my collarbone or sternum to pull my arm across the body. You'll still be able to press, and you'll still be able to develop a lot of strength and power here, and you'll even still get some chest stimulation out of this. But you'll also get a lot more through the front delt and another region called the coracobrachialis, which is this small muscle that lies underneath the chest that gets put into a stretch when your elbows are flared out really wide. So a simple solution here is to choose a bit more of a tucked elbow position for all of your pressing. I aim for around this 45 to 60-ish degree position. Normally, if you take more of a neutral palms facing in grip, your elbows will naturally track closer to this ideal spot. Alright, so reason number 2 is choosing the wrong angle of the bench when pressing. This will depend a little bit on how much of an arch you naturally take when you press, and a couple of structural differences in ribcage size and what's called your sternum angle. But a very simple rule of thumb is to try to place whatever region you're trying to be working perpendicular to the direction that gravity is pulling the weight you're using. So if we're doing, say, an upper chest press with dumbbells, for the upper chest specifically, this could be anywhere between 30 to 60 degrees of an incline, maybe even lower. It does depend on your own structure and mobility. Someone who prefers to arch their back more and has a larger rib cage, like me, will probably find a slightly higher incline is better for the upper chest, since I'm positioning my chest into a flatter position, relatively speaking, by arching my back more. Alright, reason number 3 why your chest isn't growing is that you're not prioritizing any exercises for the costal head of the chest. This is often neglected and forgotten about as a region of the chest. We always focus on the upper or the mid portions and not this costal portion here that attaches down towards your upper ab region. You'll hit this by doing things like dips and decline presses that have your arm tracking along the same line of the fibers of that head of the chest. So make sure you include at least one variation of this into your routine. Reason number 4 is not doing any exercises that have a converging direction from wide to narrow. And reason number 5 is not doing any exercises that emphasize the top lockout position of this range of motion. So if you think of most exercises like your bench presses, dumbbell presses, and dumbbell flies, these have you working along this one plane of motion here. There's no force to pull you outwards in this direction, and there isn't much tension placed on your muscles as they get into this shortened position all the way around here. And even if you did bring your arms closer together at the top of the movement, say in a dumbbell press, there isn't any tension on the muscles, so it's kind of useless. So the first tip is to use exercises that have you pressing not just straight up and down, but slightly across your body. This is where things like cables and machines are invaluable. Now, the next tip is to use exercises or variations that get harder as you reach this top position, such as using bands or chains to increase the tension here where it normally gets easier. My favorite variation is to use a cable press and to superset it with a band press along the same line of pull. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys found this video interesting and helpful. If you have any other questions or comments, do drop them below, and I'll see you all next time.